Okay, so good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Great. Today we'll talk about a method which is called the grammar translation method. This is one of the oldest method, but we still today talk about it. So it's good to have a look at this before moving to other methods, more recent ones. What can you say about this method? You can highlight some of the principles of this method. I can see here in number 1, for example, the goal, if you look at page 5, the goal of foreign language study is to learn a language in order to read its literature. So I can see here the word literature.
Sir, it's like learning grammar rules and applying them through translation exercises.
Okay, طيب. That's another thing. But I would like you to focus on this word, literature. We will talk about grammar. But because here in page 5, the goal of foreign language study, what is the goal? Because as a teacher, as a language teacher, you have a goal. Why are you teaching a language? You must have a goal. So the goal here in this method is to learn a language. Why? In order to read the literature.
Yes.
So I'm asking you, Tayyib, to highlight this word now.
Literature.
Yes, and then you can add some other ideas about this method. It's okay. You can have a look at that, page 5.
Yeah.
Point number 1. Are you with me? Are you following in the same handout, same chapter?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, great. And also have a look at the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint, I also try to summarize the chapter for you. Then you can speak, then you can discuss. So the goal of this method was reading literature. So in other words, it was not really about communication, for example. It was not really, the purpose was not communication, but rather reading literature, reading. So what do you think about this?
Professor, can I answer this question?
Yes, Mohammed.
So the main purpose of grammar translation method, as you mentioned, the main goal is not for speaking or even communication in a real situation, but rather focusing more on reading literature and also improving intercultural abilities. So at this method, students learn the language to understand text, especially classical works, and develop their own thinking about or expand their knowledge more about literature and classical works as well.
Good. I highlight the word classical. Classical. It was more related to Latin. You know, Latin
Yeah.
language. So at that time, the dominant language was Latin. So, but I'm not sure about the word intercultural. What did you
Not
mean
in,
by the word?
intercut.
Mm.
Yeah, because if you link it to the period of 1917 is the period when literature was dominating Europe.
Mhm.
So students at that period must develop their own skills about more about literature.
Oh, anyway, I'm not sure about the word culture because at that time they were not really culture. We want to talk
No,
about.
not culture. I didn't say culture. I say intercultural abilities.
when we say interculture, that also includes culture, because you have intercultural. It is like interaction between cultures, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if we can talk about that in this method, unless you prove that from the chapter. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I see that.
Because the word intercultural communication, nowadays we are talking about that because we need people to interact culturally between cultures. Like we have Moroccan culture and American culture, and we need that intercultural communication. But my question is, to what extent you can prove that in this method? Because I'm not sure about, we are talking about intercultural communication in this method.
Yeah.
That was my question.
Yes, for sure.
If you have the word intercultural here, let me know. If you
Oh,
find
okay,
it in
Professor.
the chapter.
No, okay.
But the word intercultural and cultural, culture is there. You know, intercultural. Like
Yeah.
Moroccans can speak to American, can understand the context, the context. Here we are not really talking about the context. We are talking mainly about the structure, about language itself. We're not
Lit-
moving beyond language. We're not moving to the context. We're not moving to the communication. We'll talk about that later in other methods.
Oh, okay.
But what we have said about the classical aspect, that's correct. Literature. So it's more about literary text, you know? Literary text. Any other things you can add? As you said, as Tayyib said, I think, grammar rules. From the name, grammar translation method. Any other things, please, you can add, please? Have a look at the PowerPoints I sent you. Also, because I cannot open the slides and also the board. So I would like you to look at the slides. And shall I?
Professor,
Mm.
here in the booklet there is also grammar translation. It is used also to benefit from the mental discipline and intellectual development that result from foreign language study. Which means sometimes, for example, English is some studies and science are written by English, so we use grammar translation to benefit from those studies.
I'm not sure if you can get your point, however.
I mean that sometimes the science you want or some studies you want are written by in a foreign language, and this language is not your native language, so you should translate to understand what this study wants to tell you. So here grammar translation is worked as as a good method
As a
to
great.
benefit.
Okay. So I can see that you're talking about translation.
Yes.
Translation. So translation of what? What do we translate? Can you say this?
Yes,
Please,
I
all
can.
of you, take notes. Put the title grammar translation method and highlight these elements. When you say this method allows translation, what do you mean by that? What do you translate?
Professor. Sorry, there were a misunderstanding later on about intercultural. I said intellectual. I mispronounced the word.
You mean
Yeah.
you meant intellectual.
Yeah, because I mispronounced the words. I'm sorry, Professor.
It's okay. Because I'm sure about the word intercultural.
Yeah,
It's a new term. Okay, good. Thanks for that.
You're welcome, Professor.
You were talking about translation. What do you translate? Now you have one language and another language. What do you translate? You translate a word or sentence. What do you translate?
We translate L1 to L2 from
But
native language to the target language that we are learning.
that of course. But my question is, what do you exactly translate when we say translate a language? When we say Muhammad is a
Sentences,
language.
rules,
And text.
vocabulary.
Again, also we need to know what do you translate exactly. Is it words,
Sentences,
sentences?
texts.
Maybe I can use nowadays translation method in my teaching, but I can modify it a little bit. That is to say, I don't limit myself to words. I can maybe move to sentence better, because sentences are better because you have a context, an idea, and even a text. You see those categories of language? You can translate words. Do you think it's good to translate only words? This is an eraser, I translate it. Do you think it's good strategy to teach or to use?
No, there has to be a context.
Better to put it in a context. That is to say, a
Yes.
sentence or even a text or even context. So you can critique this method later on. Does it focus only on translating words, vocabulary, or sentence, like a structure? This sentence, you can translate it because you want to focus here on grammar, rules. You know, sentence, like you have subject, verb, object. This is sentence in one language, and then I translate it. Okay, I can know the structure and so on. Anything to add? So when we talk about sentence, we can talk about syntax, right? You know syntax? Syntax. So syntax of two languages. We have one language, it's one language one, you see? Listen, can you see?
Yes,
Language
Professor.
one, language one, language two.
Yes.
So we have a syntax. We can talk about syntax. You mean structure. Structure. We are still at the level of language only, as structures and so on. So we didn't go beyond that. Okay. Any other things to add? Please, you have to add ideas and read. Okay. Ask question and so
Sir, can I add an idea?
on.
I
Yes,
guess it focuses on reading and writing, not speaking or listening.
very good. Yes. That's why we say literature. You know, literature. Literature is more about reading, just to enjoy, just to read the text. So your focus on is reading.
Yeah,
And
reading.
writing also, because you write in another language. You will have this sentence in one language. You try to write it correctly, in good grammar, in another language. That's your focus. That's your goal. So we can say the priority is given to
Reading.
and writing.
Right.
Also, reading and writing. It's mainly reading. Any other thing? That's point one. You should put number two. As Tayyib said, reading and writing are the major focus. So more focus on reading and writing. There is little attention to
Listening and
speaking, yes. So reading and writing.
speaking.
Little attention was given to speaking and writing.
And listening.
And listening, yeah. What about vocabulary?
I guess
Memorization. Yeah, memorization and bilingual word lists.
Bilingual طيب. Bilingual.
Yeah.
So they focus more on a list. This in one language and the equivalence. Just bilingual words, only words, vocabulary items. So the grammar rules, a list of vocabulary items with their translation equivalent. And then they will have translation exercises. You know translation exercises? Sometimes you find it in some textbooks. Translate this structure into another language. Because they want to focus on writing. And the grammar is correct. That's it. Translation exercises. You can critique this later on. Who can clarify number 4? Can someone read number 4 and explain it first? Please, and then we can discuss.
Can I read, sir?
Yes, please. Nora?
The sentences is the basic unit of teaching and language practice. Much of the lesson is
Nora, sorry to interrupt you. Would you like to repeat for them the page number
Morning
and
and
paragraph so they know, they follow with you?
6, page number 6.
Page 6, point number 4, right?
Yes.
Number 4, okay.
The sentences is the basic unit of teaching and language practice. Much of the lesson is devoted to translating sentences into and out of the target language, and it is this focus on the sentences that is a distinctive feature of the method. Early approaches to foreign language study used grammar as an aid to the study of texts in a foreign language, but this was thought to be too difficult for students in secondary schools, and the focus on the sentences was an attempt to make language learning easier.
Good. Can you repeat the first sentence? Slowly for me to write.
Yes, sir. The sentences is the basic unit of teaching and language
Can you
practice.
say, please, Nora? Let me know if I'm writing correctly. The sentence
Is the basic unit.
is the sentence is the basic
Unit.
unit
Unit of teaching.
of teaching.
Yes, of teaching.
Full stop. Do you have full stop?
No, and language practice.
Teaching
And
language. Okay. And
language
language
practice.
practice. Okay.
No stop.
Okay, Nora. What do you think about this sentence? So in the grammar translation method, the sentence is the basic unit of teaching and language practice. What does this mean? Can you share some ideas?
Professor, I think here is unlike the audiolingual method, which focuses first on phonemes, which means the sounds. Here, their first
Who is
وفاء شاكر.
uh-huh.
Their first focus is on the sentence. It's like the initial step they are focusing on.
Okay,
To
well,
teach.
okay.
Okay.
Which one is important? Which one is do you think when you are teaching a language? Do you think it's good to teach a sentence? A sentence. So when we say a sentence, which one is more important, a sentence, to teach a sentence, or a word? Or a sound, as you said, this is language, but here, the sentence is the basic. Is the basic. All right. So rather than words, for example. So
Professor.
and also when we say a sentence, we say a structure, no?
Yes.
When I say I'm teaching you a sentence, you are teaching beginners a sentence. For example, I eat an apple every day. This is a sentence. Rather than teaching words, because a sentence it gives an idea. A sentence, complete a sentence, conveys an idea. So to me, it's good to focus on a sentence in teaching. Okay, but you said the sound, whether this is at the level of pronunciation, because the focus here is the sound, is pronunciation. But the focus here is on the idea and the structure. How can they write a sentence correctly? You see my point? The structure of the sentence. The sentence. حتى في الترجمة اللي كنقولوا في الترجمة اللي كترجم ماذا تترجم؟ هل تترجم الجملة أم تترجم الكلمة؟ حتى في الترجمة كاين هذا المشكل. When you translate, what do you translate? دابا نعطيتك هذا النص هذا. I ask you to translate it into Arabic or French. Do you focus on words, or you focus on a sentence, or you focus on a text? So normally, you don't focus only on words, because words doesn't convey meaning by themselves. So you focus on a sentence as the basic unit of teaching. When I teach, I'm teaching with sentence, units, units. Any other thing to add? This is for you, Rabia, عفوا, Nora, regarding number 4. The basic is the sentence. You translate what? You translate sentences. I give you one sentence in one language, and you translate it in another language, in the target language. So what is your focus? Jawoni, what is your focus here? Your focus is a sentence. Is
Yes.
a sentence. علي قلت لكم حتى في translation studies today, they will tell you to translate. The approach that you do is to translate a text as a whole, rather than words or a sentence. Sometimes you move beyond the sentence. But let's have at least a sentence now. Let's focus on a sentence. What else you can say?
Professor, we can add also accuracy about grammar translation method.
Very good, Mohammed. You can read it from number 5, please. That's your section. You can read number 5, and then we can talk about it.
So, can I read?
Please, Mohammed, yes.
Yeah. Number 5, accuracy is emphasized. Students are expected to attain high standards in translation because of the high priority attached to a meticulous standard of accuracy, which, as well as having an intrinsic moral value, was prerequisite for passing the increasing number of formal written examination that grew up during this century. Howard, 1984, 132.
Good. So, in this method, accuracy is
more important.
Is more important, is emphasized, is given priority. Why? Because they would like, because the focus was on writing sentences correctly, grammatically.
Translation.
With translation, yes.
Yeah, students had to be very precise and correct when they have to translate text. This is why accuracy was considered very essential and very important when it comes to grammar translation method.
But when we are talking about accuracy, are we talking about the language level, meaning that you have to produce a sentence correctly in your native language, or in the target language? You see, because when you talk about translation, we're talking about 2 languages. We have the native native language, and we have the target language, right?
Yeah.
Target. So, for example, we as Moroccans, for example, learners of English, the target language is English.
Mhm.
The native language is Arabic or French. So, are you talking about accuracy at the level of the target language? They should produce accurate sentences here, or because you cannot translate accurately unless you have what we call equivalence. Yani the source text and the target text should be equivalent.
Yeah.
So the accuracy here, we need to research about this, to know more about the accuracy. What do you mean by accuracy in grammar translation? Do you mean the target or the translation? Because you have two things here. We have also translation. Now, for example, if you talk about audiolingual method, you are talking about accuracy, but not necessarily translation. Accuracy at the level of the target language. You will produce accurate sentences. You see my point, Mohammed? Because here
Yes, I can
for
see it.
translation, the concept of translation. مثلا عندما تقول أن تترجم من العربية الإنجليزية وتكون واحد دقة أنك تكتب بشكل صحيح، تكتب ماذا؟ هل اللغة الإنجليزية أم الترجمة؟ لأن اللغة غير الترجمة، اللغة عندك لغة واحدة. مثلا English, you are writing in English. ولكن translation, you have two languages. So you have to be accurate.
About words and sentences.
And meaning, what is more
Yeah.
important, the meaning. It's not about words. It's not about
Also about the
sentences.
meaning.
It's all about meaning. That's why I say let's focus not on the words. We focus on the meaning, or يعني in the context or the text. Because when we say meaning, we'll talk about the concept of meaning. It's really essential, Muhammad. Meaning is really essential because everything related to meaning. Now, how can I convey meaning?
It depends on the context of the words.
Step by step. Now we have meaning. How can I convey meaning? Can I convey meaning by words only?
No.
Or sentence? Yes or no? It depends, but we will see. There's the question marks now. Sentence or text or context. What do you think?
I think they should, all of them, the meaning, the word, the sentence, and the context.
Very good. All of them.
Yeah.
But sometimes it depends on the method or the approach. Because structural approach maybe focus on sentences rather than the context. They don't give importance to context. And meaning is related to the context. And the context is related to the text. And what is the text, Muhammad? Text.
Sentence.
The text consists of
words and
sentences.
sentences.
Words and sentences.
Sentences consist of what? Of words. All these are connected. So you cannot talk about meaning. You say, what is meaning? What is the meaning? So you start from of course, like some scholars highlight the top-down approach. Look at بحال كتقدروا reading comprehension. Read the text. Don't care about words. You may not know some words, but still you know the meaning.
Exactly.
Not every word, because not about words, because words really do not convey meaning by themselves, but sometimes they can. Sometimes a text can be a word. Muhammad, a text can be a word, like stop. كتلقى هذاك sign stop. Even it's one word, it's a text. Why? Because it has meaning and it has context and it is meaningful, communicative. It is communicative. It's good to know about these things because all methods will talk about meaning compared with the form. You see? Shall we focus on a form or a meaning? All right, great. Next. Number 7. Can someone read 7? Please take notes. At the end of the class, we'll ask you to give me a summary. Take notes. Can someone?
Professor, can I read?
Can I have your name?
وفاء شاكر.
وفاء. Yeah. Okay, غيرهم ما كاينش الطلبة الآخرين. Where are others? Okay, وفاء, go ahead.
The student's native language is the medium of instruction. It is used to explain new items and to enable comparisons to be made between the foreign language and the student's native language.
Okay, so what's the idea here, وفاء?
I think here it means that the native language, it is used to explain, for example, to the students the task. Not always we use the second language or the target language. We use the first language.
What do you think about it? Do you agree with that? The student's native language is the medium. Can you repeat this sentence for me, وفاء? The student's native.
The student's
أيوة.
native language
وفاء,
is the medium.
can you see the board?
Yes,
Okay, then the student native language
is the medium
is the medium
of instruction.
of instruction. Great. Thanks, Wafa. Everybody, can you comment on this sentence? What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think? Can you apply it? What do you think? It is used to explain. Okay? It is used to explain. To explain what? To explain words, structures, and so on. It is used to explain new answer. To explain and enable comparison. I'm highlighting some key items. And enable comparison. And to enable comparison. What do you think? Yes, Nisreen Mustaj. Nisreen.
Yes, Professor.
Nisreen, please, can you read this?
The student's native language is the medium.
Title first.
It doesn't show because the camera is moving.
Oh, it's telling me that the camera is moving.
The grammar transition method.
Maybe because you are moving, that's why the camera is moving. Oh, okay, just joking. Go ahead.
The camera,
The camera, yes.
The grammar transition method. The student's native language is the medium of instruction. It is used to explain and to enable comparisons.
So the key word here is a native language, and it is used to explain and also comparison.
Yes.
Nisreen, question for you.
Of course.
To what extent this is effective in teaching? For example, in your case, English to Arabic students.
For me,
It's-
I think it's not really that much effective because for me, I prefer to teach, for example, English using English. like using simple terms so that the students get used to the language that they are learning.
But here you can teach English, but you can resort to native language as a medium of instruction.
If it's necessary, like
Like you can explain something they don't understand.
I can explain it using simple terms where I can
in English, or you
Yeah.
can manage the classroom when it comes to management problems. So you can resort to native. This is according to this method. Oh, and also, what do you think? So they use native language as a medium. What do you think about explanation? You said no. You explain in English. You explain in the target language rather than the native.
I agree with explaining it in the target language.
No, but for them, it's the native language. They're talking about native language here. You don't agree with that.
Yeah.
You don't agree with this. And also, they make comparisons. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with this because
What do you compare?
Compare meanings or language.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
compare languages. You will
Yeah.
compare native language with English. Do you think it's a good strategy?
Yeah, of course it is good because students might understand more when
But you said you will explain everything in English. If you do everything in one language, then you are not in a position to compare.
I can compare Arabic using English. You see what I mean?
For example, let's say you are teaching something. Okay, you are teaching a vocabulary item or structure. How would you do that?
Let me think.
Because in this method, it's a translation. So you will have one sentence in one language as structure, and you will move to another language. You put it in another language. In that sense, in that way, students will compare. They will see the structure. How does it work in both languages? That was because still today people still defending or using this method. You use it in one way or another. Still controversial, but you can modify. You can take something from this method and apply it to some extent. To me, for example, when I am explaining, I can resort to native language just to explain something to some extent. But again, it's up to you, because some professors and teachers are against using native language, not in teaching at all, not in giving instruction. Okay. So we will see other method, and then we see our position there. Where are we among these methods? Great, Nisreen. Anything to add from the slide that I sent you?
Professor, I'd like to ask here, what do we mean by comparison? Do we mean contrastive analysis, or the comparison between meanings of the languages?
Listen to me, Wafa. Number 7, the student native language. The student native language is the medium of instruction. The medium means you will use it in your instruction, your teaching. Like when you explain, when you ask them something, you will use it. It is used to explain new items, because Nisreen said, no, I can use English to explain. I can use only English to explain new things. And to enable comparisons, listen, Wafa, to be made between the foreign language and the student native language. Okay, comparison. Wafa, you compare what? You compare the foreign language, in our case, English, right? And native. And native. That's what we compare. You compare between the foreign language and your native language. Sometimes it can work because you will compare the structure. structure 1 and structure 2. Okay, you will compare. It's an Arabic and an English. The students can see and they can compare the two structures. So they are in a position to compare so that they know the structure. For example, in Arabic, in English, you can say, I eat an apple every day. So this is a structure. In Arabic, you can say, مثلا, I, الفعل. And you start the same thing. So the students can compare the structure and they can write accurately. Okay? Because you focus on writing and reading. If your focus is writing with the grammatical rules respected. I don't want to talk much because I would like you indeed to talk. So please use the handouts and the PowerPoint and add some ideas. You can critique the method, you can modify it, and you can tell me if it's applicable in today's classrooms.
Sir, can I say something about the drawbacks of this method?
Yes, please, sir.
Okay, the grammar translation method, one of the drawbacks of it, it's often seen as traditional and teacher-centered. As we see that, what do I mean by teacher-centered? Is the teacher is the only one active. The students are just passive recipients. So, can we say that these methods are really effective since the teacher is the center and the students are just passive receivers?
I agree with you.
Is it really effective?
Yeah, I agree with
Can
you.
we use it?
It's a teacher-centered, but again, it's how you implement activities in the classroom. But you are not using only this method, but also you can teach grammar communicatively. So you can combine this method with other methods and approaches. But I agree with you because the center is the teacher, because the teacher who does all the tasks. So the students are not really engaging in
Are
the
just
process.
passive.
They're not working in groups. They are not talking. So it's just transferring, if you like, transfer one language to another. Good points.
Right.
Can you add something from the handouts and from the slides I sent you? Nisrin, can you read something from the slide? Because I cannot read the slide on my PC. So choose one slide and read it for us.
Professor,
Or even Nisrin, or even you can share. I can allow you. You can share your PowerPoint. What do you think?
actually, I'm only using my phone, so I don't really have my laptop right now with me. I didn't open the.
Okay, Nisrin, thanks.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Can someone share from your side? You can share the PowerPoint. Anything to add from the handouts? There is a section in number 9. The reform movements. What does this mean? The reform. The reform movement. The reform movement. Can you read it, please? Or can you read and then we can discuss? What comes to your mind when you hear the word reform? Please interact with me. We have 100 students. At least some of you can participate. Or you can take turns. ولكن I cannot speak. I cannot speak only by myself. I need you to engage by reading, and by speaking, by critiquing, by applying this to Moroccan classroom. But please interact.
Professor, which point?
Huh? Mohammed.
Which point?
Yes.
Yeah, which point or which
Can you read this?
I'm trying to look for it in the.
No, only the title. Can you read this one? The reform movement, right?
The reform movement. Yeah.
You will find it in the chapter, page 9. We're still Mohammed talking about the grammar translation method.
Yeah.
But there is like kind of reform. What do you think?
Dates.
Huh?
It is like an update or some changes.
Very good. Some changes. Because people thought that's not really a good strategy. We really need to, it's okay, it works in some context, but we need some reform on this method. That's why we have another method comes, which is audiolingual. And then after audiolingual, we have a communicative approach. And then, so each method builds on the previous one and adds something to language teaching. Okay, so give us some reforms based on page 9. إسراء ملك رضا الصادق صفا صبير إكرام. How many people we have today? I can see 31 students.
I am here, Professor. Just I have problem in my voice. I am a little sick, that's why.
All right, Safa. Okay. It's okay. You're welcome. No problem. حلية باش هكا أي تعبو هاجر. The reform movement, page 9.
Professor, I think they try to focus more also on spoken language. This is one of the changes that has done by.
Okay.
Also, phonetic training in order to establish a good pronunciation habit.
Okay, good. So step by step.
Also, another idea is teach language through dialogue and conversation.
What is that, please, Mohammed? So the idea here, one of the reforms is that we need also to give importance to speech, spoken language, rather than the written one.
Also, it's always in the listening.
Professor. Also, vocabulary and concepts were taught within the target language, not through the native language.
What is that, Khaladi, please?
The number 5.
5. Can you read it, please?
Yeah, sure. Teaching new meanings through establishing associations with the target language rather than by establishing association with the native language.
Very good, yeah. I think this is what Nisreen already said, that we can teach English with English. So you make association with English. مثلا I'm going to teach this. I'm going to try to use only the target language rather than resorting to the native language. So we can do, maybe we can do both. We can do whatever possible in your classroom to teach effectively. Good. Any other things? As Mohammed Nayadi said, the use of conversation, text, and dialogue, rather than only idioms. You know idioms? So idioms, characteristics of a text, written text. So let's translate this idiom into another language. No. Focus more on conversation, dialogues. And number one, the study of spoken language. So this is the new trend now started, or new reform, that we need to modify a little bit the way language was taught in the grammar translation method. What else you can add? Have a look at page 10. You'll find another reformer. We call them reformers. Reformers.
Teaching grammar inductively.
Yes, Yasmin.
Yes.
Yes, Yasmin, please.
Another reform is teaching grammar inductively. Number 4.
Number 4, Or maybe we're going to elaborate more on that approach, because you have two things, inductive and deductive. So inductive, it's like you will let the students discover the rules by themselves, rather than, so it's more learner-centered. The teacher-centered is the one who explains everything for them. Everything is explained. This is grammar. Do this, do this, do this, do this. The other method, the other approach is they discover the rules by immersing them in the target language, just like what native speak, just like how you learned your first language. How did you learn your first language, Yasmin?
How
did you learn your first language? How did you learn your mother tongue? Whether what's your mother tongue, Arabic or Amazigh? Amazigh. Good, very good example. Now, the Amazigh is your first language, right? Your native tongue.
Yes.
So how did you learn grammar? How did you learn vocabulary? Let's focus on grammar. How did you learn grammar?
I don't know. I grew up knowing.
Yeah, you don't know because you learned it unconsciously. Unconsciously. The same thing, this approach here in teaching grammar for students. Just immerse them in just let them listen. They listen to the language, and then they will discover things for themselves. You don't have to teach them formally, explicitly, the grammar. So most methods like that, you will tell them I, he, goes. So goes needs S. You don't need to tell them sometimes explicitly. That's the point. Any other idea, Yasmin? Any other things? I would like you to look at page 10. You will find also other things. You can add anything related to the reforms or modification done regarding the method, the grammar translation.
So we have also arranging what is to be taught in terms of the 4 skills of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So we should like combine 4 skills.
Good, very good. Yeah, arranging exactly. Very good. Well done, Nora. Yes, very good. So you don't have to limit your teaching to reading and writing. Try to combine the 4 skills. We still have this issue. Do we combine the 4 skills in Moroccan classrooms? Do we? To what extent? Do we
No.
not really, not really. We still have to do more about listening and speaking. We should combine them. Or it depends again. It depends on the student need. Some students don't read, but because they are students, they need the 4 skills. If you are doing English for business, then you can do mainly, it depends on learner's objective. But because we're an academic setting, we need the 4 skills. Because students need to write, students need to read, students need to listen. Okay, so they need the 4 skills. Anything to add from can someone share the slides? Yasmin, is it possible for you to share the slides?
Okay, let me try.
Thank you. Try. Because I cannot share the slides and speak with you like that with the camera. It will be hard to split the screen.
Okay.
Thank you. Rogi Mariam just entered. Hello, Mariam. There is something you can add from page 10. Can someone tell me from page 10? We have some point here.
This meeting is being recorded.
خلادي وفاء مريم جاني بوزار هاجر Yes, Mariam, can you have
Yes.
page 10?
Page
10.
Should I take just?
I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now? Right now?
Now, yes.
We'll choose number 3.
Okay.
Learners should hear the language first before see it in writing form.
Good, very interesting. Please have a look at page 10 and follow with Mariam Ghani. She's saying.
Professor.
Yes. Yes, me. 1 minute, Ghani, stay with us. Yes, yes.
Okay. You deactivated. Do you hear me, Professor?
I can hear you. Yes, Min, yes.
You deactivated the screen share. I cannot share my screen.
Okay, I can do that. How can I do so? So I go to more, share.
I'm not used to this platform, so.
Okay, it's okay. I can easily know it. Share and see. 1 second, Yasmin. Share seat. Participants. I did it once. I forgot. More. I don't know how to do it now. Right now. Anyway, Yasmin, I can go to your name and see if I can allow to. Okay. Anyway, Yasmin will do it later on. Okay, because I need to check. I did it once, but I forgot how to do that. Because you will have an option where you can allow the participants to also to share their screen?
Yes.
Okay, Yasmin, thanks. Mariam?
Yes, Professor.
Mhm.
I think about this sentences is true. We should first learn the language before try to write it, because spoken language is older than the written language, and most of us use the spoken form from language more than the writing form. Writing was in fact created as a substitute for the spoken language. We speak our native language before we write it.
Okay, but
We
here we are talking about learning a second language, not a first language. So like when you are learning English. So learners, first of all, they should hear, they should listen before reading. Why? That's the question. Because in the grammar translation method, the focus more not on hearing, on listening. No, just they will read. So my question to all of you, the people who are listening to me, is why do you think learners should hear the language first and then they can see it?
I think it's make to remember the sentences and meaning more easier. Like for me, I learn English from listening to music and watching movies, and I read the translation in Arabic. So by listening to words, I know the meaning before I try to write it.
Okay, and also,
And I think
I can see your point, but this is important, particularly in teaching English, because English is spoken differently from the way it is written. So this is so important, particularly in English. Maybe it can, from other languages, it's okay, because the way that, like in French, the way you write ah is ah, all the time ah. But in English, we should first listen, then write. Otherwise, they will not say it correct. But I can, this is a good point. Next. Yasmin, what do you think about number 6? خلادي وفاء, what do you think about number 1? كل واحد ياخذ 1 وما عندكم page 10. اللي معايا, الناس اللي معايا, who is listening to me? انا كنشوف العدد ديالكم يتناقص. العدد ديال الآية. مرحبا ياسمين. لا كنسول دابا الناس اللي معايا ما كاينش, لا قليل. دابا معايا 27 دابا اللي ظاهرين, النص غائب, والمتبقي نعزلوا منه عاود شويه اللي حاضر, وهذاك شويه غنعزل منه عاود اللي كيتنط اللي كيتنط, يعني اللي كيبقى معايا واحد العدد قليل جدا. سمعتوني؟ عليكم السلام. سمحوا لي 1 minute. الله يبارك فيك. اسمح لي واحد الدقيقة حيت عندي الكلاس, غادي نتصل بك دابا واحد 2 دقائق. يلا شكرا, سلام. شكرا, سلام. سمحوا لي, this is an insurance company. You know Yasmin? Insurance. They called me. Do you know why?
To pay money or?
I have to renew my car insurance every year. Every year I have to renew the insurance. It's not good.
Insurance of what? Your car?
Of the car, yeah. Because you have to have the insurance for your car in case of it's obligatory to do it.
Yeah.
Now every year they called me that just to remind me. That's the problem of a car. You have to auto pay. You pay for petrol, you pay for, it's not easy.
But you have the car. It's a good thing.
Yeah, you have the car, but you have to anyway, yes, okay. Okay, yes, me. So you can choose here. Each one can choose one item.
Professor,
From 1 to 6. Yes, Wafa.
can I choose the sixth one?
Mm-hmm.
Translation should be avoided, although the native language could be used in order to explain new words or to check and comprehension. Here, as Nissan said before, translation should be avoided. So, most of the time, we should use just the target language.
Good.
But we can use the native language in case to check the understanding of the students, or yeah, this is it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you agree with that. Translation should be avoided. Although sometimes you can
Yes,
resort to native language just to explain or to check.
some difficulty.
But all in all, it should be avoided. Okay.
Yes.
Professor,
Mm-hmm. Yasmin?
I want to comment on the same
The same idea.
yes.
Mhm.
I partially agree with this principle because avoiding translation helps develop fluency and thinking in the target language. However, the native language can be useful for explaining difficult concepts and ensuring comprehension, especially for beginners.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah.
Professor, also, if you are listening to people who advise you to learn another language, they always advise you to avoid translating in your mind also, not just in real. Also in your mind, when you are listening to someone, they told you don't translate what the other one is saying, because your mind will not be take the whole meaning as it is. Will try to translate just every word, so you will not understand the meaning as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
you should just understand the meaning.
Mm. Okay. Good. نشوف number 5.
Professor. So, number 5, words should be presented in sentences, and sentences should be practiced in meaningful context and not be taught as isolated, disconnected element, which means that.
This is very interesting, and I have already explained a little bit about the sentence. So what is the focus? What is the basic focus in your
sentence?
Yeah, is it a sentence or more than a sentence? Is it a sentence?
Yes, this method teach students word inside the sentence and context, not isolatedly.
Good. Yes. Yes. So what you can do, even if you are teaching a word, one word, you are teaching happiness, one word. So better to put the word in a sentence.
In a context, yes.
And I'm saying that a sentence first, and then context. Because context is more than a sentence. You know? But context can be contextual, can be beyond the sentence. It's like you and me. Now we are talking together. You can see me, I can see you. You know me, I know you. So this context doesn't exist in the text.
Yes.
Beyond the text. خارج النص. السياق, the context can be in the text or can be outside. To facilitate what? Communication. Why we are here for communication. The goal of learning language is communication. So communication, we need the context, we need the people, we need the place, we need the time, we need to know to whom, on the why, in what context. But also the context can be within like the whole text or the whole book and so on. But it's really interesting. I like these statements.
Yes.
So words should be presented in sentences, and sentences should be practiced in a meaningful context, not in isolation. Because I can see many teachers nowadays teach grammar in isolation, or vocabulary in isolation from the context. So today I'm going to teach you words about fruits out of context. So you put why are they learning those words? Why? What's the context? You see, provide the context for learning. Context for learning, very important. Okay, Sadiq, thank you. Anyone would like to add? Otherwise, we move to
Professor.
Ikram. Hello, Ikram. Good afternoon, Ikram.
I just want to add something.
Yes, Bashir.
Since you have mentioned that the spoken English is quite different from the written English, you are completely right, because if you notice that each distinct letter in the English alphabet, it has different sounds. Each letter has different sounds. That's why the reform movement tried to focus on the scientific study of sounds, which is phonetics, and that's through establishing the IPA concepts, which is the International Phonetic Alphabet, which is was designed to enable the sounds of any language to be accurately transcribed. Since, as I have said, that each letter has different sound, so to accurately study these sounds, we established the concepts of the IPA, which is the International Phonetic Alphabet, which helps speakers to accurately pronounce English words.
All right. So, all in all, Ikram, you want to highlight that we should?
It's easier to learn language situations, experiences.
Written form is different from the spoken, right? Written and spoken.
It's actually feedback. Learning improve faster.
I cannot hear. Who is speaking? Wafa. Okay. I would like you, please, all of you,
Professor.
Yes, Sukaina. Wafa.
Can you hear me? There is any noise? No.
No, it's okay now. Now it's fine.
I would like to comment on number 6. Okay.
Good.
So there are many processes that learners can go through, like listening and imitation. Learners first hear the language, notice pattern, and try to reproduce sounds and words and also sentences. Also, contextual learning, because as we know that learners can learn easier when they link words and sentences with situations, objects, and expressions. And finally, feedback. Learners improve faster when they communicate with others and receive feedback. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What do you mean by feedback, Wafa?
For example, they can, for example, when they like practice what they learned. When they receive feedback, they interact more. For example, when I am talking to you, if you give me a feedback, I will react more, or I will correct my mistakes.
Okay,
so I will learn. If you, for example, correct a word for me, I won't repeat it. I will learn the correct form. That's it.
Okay, great. Yes, okay, Wafa. Good job. I would like you, please, to focus with me. Yasmin, Nisreen, Mariam, all people who are listening. Can you please focus on this particular point? We're talking about the grammar translation method. how can we teach grammar, or how is grammar taught? How is grammar taught here and here? This is an assignment for you. If you participate, I'm going to give you some points in participation if you answer correctly this, or if you engage with this question. Okay, I repeat. When I talk about the grammar translation method, of course, we are talking about rules of grammar. The grammar rules. How is grammar taught here? And how is it here in the reform movement? I give you 2 minutes to think and research. Okay. Is it clear?
Clear.
All right.
Professor.
Professor, Nisreen is informing you that she has some issues with the internet and with Zoom. I don't know what's the problem.
Okay, I will call Zoom. Okay, I will call the company. It's American company. You see, Americans, they have everything. By the way, I like the application. The Zoom is a great application. You know,
Yes,
it gives some very options for teaching.
yes.
Well, like the one I'm doing is the paid one. Now I pay for that. You see to what extent I sacrifice to teach you? It's not free. Because the
Yes.
one is free, it gives you only 40 minutes. You see? For I think 40 minutes only.
Got it.
All right.
We appreciate the sacrifice.
Thank you, Professor.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks.
Sir, please, can you just repeat the question?
Sure. Yes, Taib, I will.
Thank
So
you.
the question is, let me show you first the board so you can see. So we are talking about the grammar translation method. So, of course, we are talking here about the grammar, the rules of grammar. My question is, how is the rule, or how are the rules of grammar taught here, and how is grammar taught here?
Okay, thank you.
Highlight on this with some examples. And what do you prefer? Okay, what do you think first? First of all, about the theory. Okay. And number two, which one do you prefer? Let me know if my question is clear for everyone, and then I give you some time to think. All right, thank you.
Professor, can I try?
Maybe if I give you 2 minutes.
Okay.
So everyone can prepare something. I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay. If you are ready, you can try.
So can I answer, sir?
Yeah.
Professor?
Okay, so first of all, the grammar translation method is very structured and systematic, which makes it easier for learners who prefer rules and accuracy. How grammar rules are taught? Grammar is taught deductively. Rules are explained first, then practiced through translation exercises. Additionally, students memorize rules and apply them to sentences, often translating back and forth between the native and target language. The reform movement. The reform movement reacted against the grammar translation, which is it emphasized spoken language, pronunciation, and communication, unlike grammar rules. Additionally, methods like the direct method emerged, focusing on teaching in the target language without translation and learning grammar inductively through examples, not rules first. For me, I prefer grammar translation because it provides clear structure and systematic learning, and it ensures accuracy and precision, which is useful for exams or academic study. It builds strong foundations in grammar and vocabulary. Uh, for example, if you are learning French or English, grammar. Yeah.
Okay, good. Just let's focus on this particular point. So what you have said that in the grammar translation method, طيب, in the grammar translation method, grammar, can you continue, طيب? Grammar is
taught
deductively.
deductively. Yeah. Deductively.
And here, طيب, grammar.
There, it's like it emphasizes spoken language.
طيب,
Inductive.
focus, طيب, please. طيب, focus on one point. Now,
yeah,
grammar. You said that in the grammar translation method, grammar is taught deductively.
Yeah, exactly.
While in the reform movement, grammar is taught
direct.
This one
Inductively.
And this one is taught? Yes, please.
Inductively.
Inductive.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
focus on this. Inductively. Now, طيب, which one do you prefer?
I prefer
to
grammar.
teach grammar deductively or inductively?
I guess the first one, which is grammar is taught deductively. The first one, grammar is taught deductively.
Now my question is to you, personal question to you as a future teacher.
Yeah.
When you teach grammar, do you go for teaching grammar deductively or inductively, and why?
I go for grammar is taught deductively.
Because?
Because for many reasons. Firstly, it provides clear structure and systematic learning.
Okay. Anyway, let's change some idea. Now, for طيب, you like to teach grammar deductively. What about others? Stay with us, طيب. Other students, what do you think?
For me, I prefer. It depends on the objective of the learners, as you said before. For example, if it is for business, I prefer to teach them grammar inductively. But if, like in our case, we will teach grammar. We will teach grammar. I will choose to teach grammar deductively.
Exactly.
So it depends on the objectives of the learners.
Yeah, because they use, for example, grammar translation, which is useful for exams or academic study. So it's important to teach it deductively.
Okay. Sorry. Any other point to add? Do you agree with them? I haven't heard from others, and then I will give some feedback on that. First of all, طيب, what do we mean by teaching grammar inductively?
So, teaching grammar inductively, which is like focuses more on spoken language, pronunciation, and communication.
طيب, please. We need to have focus. We are not talking about other skills. Now we are focusing on grammar. How do you teach grammar? Let's say you want to teach present simple or past perfect. Okay. Speaking and listening, that's not maybe another skill. Though you can integrate the skills. I agree with you. Sometimes you can integrate grammar with speaking. But my focus now is only on the grammar because the method highlights the grammar rules. So let's say, طيب, you are teaching past simple tense. Are you going to teach past simple tense deductively or inductively, and how? This question for everyone. Just you can share some ideas.
Professor, I think inductively means like implicitly. So you teach the learners.
Also this question, وفاء, عفوا, وفاء, you need to have, you have a look at the handout. Have a look at the handout or the slide or research about what do you mean by inductive. I think you will find something in page 6 and you find something about
I guess grammar is taught inductively means, for example, instead of starting with rules, unlike grammar translation, for example, the professor or the teacher presents example in the target language and lets students discover the rules themselves.
Can you apply this to past simple tense? The example I gave.
Okay. So, for example, as a future teacher, for example, if it happens and I want to teach grammar inductively, let's take past tense, past simple tense in English. So, for example, the teacher gives sentences. I will give sentences like, yesterday I walked to school, or she played football last weekend, or, for example, I went to the park yesterday. So students, for example, will notice that verbs often end in ed.
Okay, so you want to say, in other words, طيب, when we say grammar is taught deductively, it means that you present the rules. You will present them to the students.
Exactly. So, for example, it's like examples first, then rule later.
That's inductively.
Inductively, yeah.
That's inductively.
Inductively.
So you will give a student will discover the rules by themselves. Anyway. And also we can put the context. You teach grammar in context. If you see here in page 10 for the reform movement, okay, you will have here something about grammar. Rules of grammar should be taught only after the student have practiced grammar point in context. That is to say, grammar should be taught inductively. All right, so I would like you to research more about inductive and deductive approach to teaching grammar. And what do Moroccan teachers, what are they doing, or what they are doing in the classroom today? Are they teaching deductively or inductively? Okay, so this is an important point to investigate.
Professor, we do have deductively also in page number 6. Then the sentence number 6.
Yes.
Grammar is taught deductively. That is by presentation and study of grammar rules, which are then practiced through translation exercises. In most grammar translation texts, a syllabus was followed for the sequencing of grammar points throughout a text, and there was an attempt to teach grammar in an organized and systematic way, which means they taught grammar as the example of past simple. I will tell them subject plus verb plus ed plus. This is teaching grammar deductively.
All right, good, Wafa. Yasmin, what do you think?
Which one I prefer?
Yasmin, so we're not talking about grammar. So, do you prefer language to be taught or grammar, rules of grammar to be taught deductively or inductively?
Inductively.
Did you read something about deductive approach?
No.
So you need to conduct little research about inductive approach to grammar. Inductive. I'll give you a few minutes.
Professor, in our case, even if we want to teach in grammar inductively, but the curriculum is focusing more on deductive, teaching grammar deductively. So even if you want to teach it inductively, it will you will teach it deductively. As the curriculum.
But normally they will not interfere with the way you teach grammar. So what is important again is to know those rules. But I agree with you, for example, in the baccalaureate exam, they will test you on grammar per se, just grammar for the sake of grammar. It should be communicatively in context, all right, rather than in isolation from other contexts. Because in real life scenarios, we don't speak grammar. We don't speak grammar rules. We speak language. Like in Arabic, we don't speak al-fa'il, al-maf'ulu bihi. We communicate. We don't focus. So again, the approach that you are adopting, I agree with the good point, because the assessment also, we assess students on grammar section. So that's why we teach them grammar deductively to know the rules without any confusion. It should be clear for them the rules of grammar. But what's the point of teaching grammar? That's the question to ask. What's the point of teaching grammar in that way? Can you please have a look at page, because I need to finish this handout briefly. Page 11, we have the direct method. Direct method. Al-Khaladi. The direct.
Sorry, page.
Direct.
I'm here.
11.
Yes.
11.
Yes. Can you read the introduction, please?
Professor, can I read?
Yes.
Can I read? The direct method Gowen had been one of the first of the 19th century reformers to attempt to build a methodology around observations of child language learning. Other reformers toward the end of the century likewise turned their attention to unnaturalistic principles of language learning, and for this reason they are sometimes referred to as advocates for a natural method. In fact, at various times throughout the history of language teaching, attempts have been made to make second language learning more like first language learning. In the 16th century, for example, Montaigne described how he was interested to a guardian who addressed him exclusively in Latin for the first years of his life.
Okay, thank you.
Since Montaigne is
Thank you, Nora. Good. So, what can you say about this? This is what you have just said. This method is called natural method. Why? Why do we call it natural? Based on page 11, 12.
It is called natural because
Okay, Yasmin. Okay, Yasmin. Nora, can you please? Thanks.
yes, it is. It is called natural because it imitates the natural way humans learn their first language.
So it's natural. It's natural. It's natural because
it imitates the natural way humans learn their first language.
And how is that? How can we teach language naturally, or how can we learn language naturally?
Focusing on listening.
Focusing on?
Listening.
Okay, then you focus on listening because this is how we learn our first language. So by exposure or by more listening. What else?
Yes. No translation.
Okay. What about context, scenarios? Because you try to learn language in context, in natural way. It's like authentic materials. Because you can't, because you are in a foreign atmosphere. Yasmin. You try to teach English naturally in the classroom, but are you really in a natural context?
No.
You are not 100% because you are not in real, you are not, for example, you try to create natural context by providing a context, like a role play, for example. You know role play? They will play a role. But still, it's not, I'm questioning the word natural. To what extent it's natural, it's really natural. So as you said, listening, exposure to the language, dialogues, more about oral, because oral is not oral communication, rather than by written. Okay, Yasmin, good. Any other things to add about this method, the direct method? Do you have anything to add about the direct method from page 11 and 12? Just 11 and 12. Maybe someone can read from page 12. Yasmin, if you can hear me. As you said, we have here some points from 1 to 8. Just quickly, we go through them.
Number 1, classroom instruction was conducted exclusively in the target language. Number 2, only everyday vocabulary and sentences were taught. 3, oral communication skills were built up in a carefully graded progression, organized.
To interrupt you, we need to put this into context. We need to read before, so to know what the point is about. Are they for the direct method or only the first stages of this method? So have a look at the whole thing, and then we can discuss. All right, because this is the first stages of the method. Natural method. Concepts. So have some time, please, to look at page from 11, 12, and 13, and highlight some ideas related to this, to the direct method. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Can I have your name, please? Who is with me? Yasmin, Safa, Mariam?
We are.
Yes,
So, so
Yes, Professor.
I would like someone to write on the chat some of the key principles of this method. The principles of this method. Number one. So, number one, it is a reaction against or a reaction to? It is a reaction to what? It is a reaction to? Can you continue? It is a reaction to G.
Grammar translation method.
Yes, yes, good. Grammar translation.
GTM.
Yes, yes. So it's a reaction to it. Okay, good. Number two. Write it, Yasmin, on the chat, please. To learn.
Okay, tell me. Okay.
To learn a foreign language the way we learned the native one. That's why it's natural. So we call it natural method. Natural. Okay, Yasmin, to learn a foreign language the way we learned the native one.
The native one.
And then everyone
Here
can
it is.
Great. Good. Number two. We say the language to be used is the natural. Why? Because Okay, we'll see about that. We'll have a look at that later on. But for now, let's check another one. We have to be completely immersed in the foreign language. Write it, Yasmin. We have to be completely immersed. You know the word immersed? Immersed in that context.
Dive in.
Yeah, in the target language.
We have to be completely immersed in that context, is it?
We can say we have to be completely immersed in better. We have Yasmin, we have to be completely immersed in the foreign language. You put it that way.
Okay.
As you said, we are moving away from the translation towards the targets. The target language, the foreign language, not to the source. Then in the grammar translation, you always resort to the native language, while this method focus more on the targets. Let's repeat them. The number 3, vocabulary. ما كرهتش ياسمين نديرهم في واحد هكا في واحد الفايل نجمعهم هاد النقط باش نرسلوهم. إذا I repeat ياسمين. Number 1.
Okay.
It is a reaction to GTM. It means grammar translation. It's reaction to it. Number 2. هذا غير العنوان العارض. أما number 1. To learn a foreign language the way we learn the native one. Number 2, we have to be completely immersed in the foreign language. What does this mean? It means that we have this means a full exposure to it all the time. No use of
translation.
No use of translation or native tongue.
Language.
Native language or native. So never use native language. All the time immerse yourself in the language you are learning, and extensive listening. Okay. Any other thing to add? As a for structure and grammar, no rules are given. No rules are given, but just you teach through visual aids. You can use visual aids, pictures, and so on, rather than translation. And the emphasis is on the pronunciation. Write it, Nisreen, Yasmin. The emphasis is on pronunciation. Why do we call this natural method? ايش نكمل معكم بحال باقي دير. اوكي 20 minutes. واش باقي معايا ولا مشيتوا؟ شحال بقاو معايا الناس؟ تو كيتناقصوا. يعني اللي يتناقص علاش ما كيتزادش تعالى؟ Why do we call this method the direct method? What do we call it? This method is called also oral.
Natural method.
Oral and natural. Why do we call it oral? Why do we call it natural?
Can I say something about it? I think we call it oral because it's focused more on the communication rather than rules, unlike the grammar translation method.
Good.
And it is natural.
Good. In other words, Tisam, we call it oral. We call it oral because it stresses speech, right?
Yeah. Rather than writing.
Good. And natural? Because it's
Because we learn inductively rather than deductively in the direct method.
to put it in a simple way, because it follows the ways of acquiring. It follows the way we acquire what? We acquire
Our mother
Language.
the
tongue.
native language. The way we acquire our native, the way we acquire, that's why we say acquire the first language. Acquire, the way we acquire the first language. Can someone repeat these two principles? Number one, the direct method is oral because speech.
Yes.
It's called natural because
It follows the way we
acquire.
language.
so it means we teach English, we teach foreign language in the same way acquire the first language. Okay. Anwar. All right, thank you. Any other thing to add about this this method? We'll talk more details about that. What is the advantages and disadvantages of this method? What is the advantages and disadvantages? Advantage, it immerses the learner in the foreign language. It immerses them in the foreign language. And the students can have a good pronunciation, focus on pronunciation. Everyday language is learned. You focus on everyday language. The language that is used in context. What about some drawbacks? What do you think about some drawbacks of this method?
It requires very skilled teachers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Yasmin. Yasmin, what do you think about the drawback or disadvantages? The recreation. Listen to me, Yasmin. One of the drawbacks of the direct method is the recreation. Okay? The recreation of real context is not possible, or the recreation of a foreign situation is impossible. What do you think? The recreation of a foreign situation is impossible.
Yes. It's
because you cannot really have really natural context. You are not really in real scenarios. You try to bring authentic materials to the classroom, but the context is not natural. It's not natural, like it's really, you try it, but it's not really possible all the time in your teaching. So is it really natural or not? And I agree with you, it's too demanding for sometimes. It can be demanding for the students because they have to make an effort to make association, because you don't use first language, so they have to think. Students have to think and make associations because there's no way. They have to think about this. It can be too demanding. All right, and some students get frustrated, especially the average student. Do you agree with me? The average students sometimes get frustrated because they don't know or they are confused. That's why some teachers go to translation, because everybody can understand. While this method, not every student really get the points. They have to make associations and think, and it can be demanding for them. Okay, do you think that students have a chance to listen outside the classroom? Not all the time. They don't listen often to English. They have to listen a lot, but they can't. Now it's okay with technology, but in the past it was hard at that time to apply this method. Okay. That's it. Any other things to add before we say goodbye?
Sir, another disadvantage of this method is the ignorance of the written words.
Sorry?
فاطمة زهرة المقدم.
أهلا فاطمة الزهراء. Good morning.
Good morning, teacher. I said one of the disadvantages of this method is the ignorance of the written words.
The ignorance
of the written words.
Written.
Yes. Because it mimics natural acquisition. Reading and writing are often neglected. So this can be a disadvantage for academic students who needs to master formal essays.
Good. You said an important point. Can you say it again? I think the first or the second idea you have mentioned. Can you say it again, Zahra?
It's that reading and writing are often neglected.
Before that, you said something.
It mimics natural acquisition.
Yeah, you said an important point I would like to highlight. But anyway, so as a future teacher, how can you implement this method? And are you willing to use this method, Fatma Zahra? Or can you, because now we are close to the end of this session, would you like to compare and contrast grammar translation method and direct method? Which one can you use, or to what extent?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, because so far we have discussed two methods, the grammar translation method and the direct method. As a future teacher, which one would you like to use in your classroom? In other words, you can compare and contrast the two. And how, to what extent are you willing to apply them in your classroom, in your English language teaching? That's the last question we discuss and say goodbye. Fatma Zahra, can you hear me? مقدم, have you heard my question?
Yes, I can hear you.
Did you understand my question, Fatma Zahra?
Yes.
Okay.
I need just some time.
Professor, what is the question?
Who is speaking?
Wafa.
Wafa.
I didn't hear.
It's okay. Wafa, I would like you to, if you like to compare and contrast, or tell me about your teaching practices in the classroom. Are you going to use the grammar translation method or the direct method? To what extent?
Okay.
Then you can use both of them or one of them, or modify something and use them. That's the question. Because so far,
thank you.
Well, welcome. Two things: the grammar translation method
and direct method.
Yes.
Professor, can we combine both?
How can you do that?
Maybe using the...
Tell me, okay, now let's say you are teaching something, you are teaching grammar or speaking or listening or the writing activity, or so how are you going to implement some principles from this method? You know, Yasmin, because you can't use any translation in the direct method, right, Yasmin?
Yes.
The direct method, you can't use translation or a native speaker, native language of learners. As a teacher, how can you explain the lesson? It can be so challenging for us because the student don't know anything about English. And when you start teaching them, for example, for 1 month or 2 months, Yasmin, you will notice huge differences in the level of students. And then it will be difficult for you to include everybody in the classroom because they will be different. Some of them will not understand. So how can you explain and how can you achieve your purpose? You achieve your goal. What is your goal? Again, depend on the syllabus, the curriculum, or your philosophy. How do you see English language? If you want to improve communication or intercultural communication or skills, all right, and then you can take a decision. You can make your decision about that. So, for example, Yasmin, I'm asking you a question. If you can't use any translation or any language from native tongue, how can you explain the lesson? For example, you can use acting. You can use
acting or bring real objects to the classroom.
or you can draw or sketches, you know, you can draw things on the board. Drawing is important. Some teachers can draw well, so you can use sketch. Do you know the word miming? You can mime, you know, you can tell the story, you can teach by story, or you can move your body and face and so on. All this to
show visuals.
Because you don't have, because what can you do?
Yes.
It can be challenging for you and for students because not all the language can be, you can't act every aspect of language. You can't act, for example, sentence, complete structure, or abstract words. How can you show them? How can you put them in a picture? That's why I'm asking you, how are you going to implement this in the class? Because some theories are hard to implement. There are theories, okay, but to what extent I can really implement them in the class? So think about that and share some ideas, and then we say goodbye.
Professor. So in my class, should I just start answer?
Wafa, can I say something before you talk?
Yes, of course.
I have something about the direct method. For example, during the teaching of grammar, no rules are given. No rules are given. So in the grammar translation method, you will give them rules. But in the direct method, you don't give them rules. What do? Through practice.
You show examples and they discover the rule.
Yeah, but here you give them from the practice. They will practice and they will draw generalization from the practice. So the structure are taught only where foreign language is spoken. You don't teach everything. You don't teach the grammar. You teach only what is needed in the spoken. You see the point? Or functional. Can you hear me? The grammar, the teaching of grammar has only a functional value. Can you write it? The teaching, write it, Yasmin, on the chat. The teaching of grammar has only functional view. What does this mean? You don't teach grammatical, just grammar for grammar. No, you teach grammar for function. Meaning only you will teach the structures only that are needed for spoken.
For purpose.
For spoken purposes, not for other purposes. Because we teach grammar not for the spoken purposes. So the direct method highlights this dimension. They want to teach grammar for communicate. So I'm going to focus on only those structures needed for this scenario, for example, and the student listen, and they will draw generalization about the grammar. It can be difficult to apply, but I'm telling you the principles. You can tell me, no, it's not possible to apply it in the classroom. How can you do that? How can you do that? And I have some techniques for you. I will send them later on. Stages for applying the method. Okay. نكمل معكم آخر جملة ونمشي. شو معنى هذا الميثود؟ Listen to me. I will stage 1. Are you with me? Books closed. Books, textbook are closed. Brief introduction to set the scene. This is very important. You need to set the scene. Don't just come and teach. No, you set the context, the scene. Not introduction. Next, usually conversation. number 1. Usually you start a conversation. To motivate the students, teacher has to ask question after playing a dialogue twice on a tape. So the first thing, students listen to a dialogue on a tape, right? They listen. Step 2, the teacher replay the passage, sentence by sentence. Okay, he repeats that. He explained. How he explained? By gestures, flashcards, drawings. Okay. And this stage 2. Stage 3, he replayed the passage again, sentence by sentence, and student repeat. You remember the pronunciation?
Yes.
So the focus on pronunciation. Listen, repeat. Listen and repeat. Sentence, not words. Sentence by sentence. The student repeat. Okay. After that, after memorizing the passage, they are asked to adapt the dialogue to their own situation. Okay, they will adapt the dialogue to their own situation. Stage 5. This is the stage of fixation of structures, or drilling stage. You see, drilling. Because you will have audiolingual method, which is based on this method. Okay, Yasmin, I'm going to send you this. All of you, I'm going to send you this.
Professor.
More about the method. You have all the stages and techniques. Yes, please, Wafa.
I have an activity where we can combine both the grammar translation method and also the direct method that I can use in my classroom. For example, if I want to teach my students how the rules of passive voice while focusing on their speaking skills, I can, for example, show them a picture of a book, and from the title or from the cover, they should say the name of the writer. Like if I show them William and Juliet, they will say this book was written by Shakespeare. So they are required to use passive voice to talk about the pictures. Or if I show them the picture of the Mona Lisa, they are required to say this was drawn by Da Vinci, like this.
Okay.
So I will focus on the grammar rules and also their speaking. They will interact and foster their communication skills and also understand more the passive voice and use the rules in real situations.
I can see your point.
I don't know if it's gonna be.
Yeah, I can see your point. I can see it's a good way. It's like innovative way, because teaching is all about creation and innovation. Find a way for my student. But again, you have to have the focus clear, objective in your mind. So are you teaching grammar? Okay, grammar for speaking, but I can't see speaking there. When you see speaking, means conversation, means communicative effect. Like the student should produce certain language in that scenario. So if a student repeats, this book is written by William Shakespeare. Repeat, this book is written by William Shakespeare. The focus more on the structure. Okay, the structure is correct. The grammar is accurate. Well done. Perfect. But you are still within the limit of grammar to some extent.
Yes.
Still, you need to provide more large or big scenario, enough scenario for them to produce language. So
to communicate
focus more on grammar. Okay, but good thing to try to connect, because it's not speaking, it's only like drilling or repetition to master pronunciation and grammar. That's your purpose. It's limited. But for communication, you need to go into consideration the context. Is it oral? You will especially for beginners, they will engage in communication. They still don't know English, so they will speak together and then, excuse me, how can I go to this police station? How you are teaching them that communicatively. How do you go to the police station, please? Then they will answer, because you should have a conversation. So, because in any language there is a conversation, right? In every communication you should have, which is not the case with in your passive voice teaching, but it's okay. It's one way if you find it suitable, but the focus is passive. You want to teach passive. Okay, Wafa. One of the things you can do for passive is you can look at for example, the newspaper article, and then the students can look at this structure. So many people died in that accident. Many houses were destroyed. Many children or many families were evacuated. Meta, for example. And now the students, you don't have to teach them passive. They will see it themselves. They will know it by themselves. This is one way to teach passive voice while reading or story, telling a story. Another way, other than the traditional way of telling them that we do this, and this. And like a cardiac structure is repeated there. Were destroyed, were they will notice. غير بنفسهم. But this is one way to do. But things can be done different ways by different teachers. And then
sure.
All right, Wafa. Anything to add before saying goodbye?
Professor,
20 people now, man. Yes.
can I ask you which method you are using with us as students?
Well, to be honest with you, teacher can use different ways, different method, depending on student levels and needs. Now, at university level, I'm not teaching language like what will you do in primary school or secondary school. So your focus will be more on language part, that is to say grammar, reading, writing, and so on. As a professor in university, I have other skills. You see what I mean?
Yes.
One of the skills, for example, is communication, like an oral communication. All right. So, but there are some principles that can exist in every classroom, which is the learner center, for example. So the student should be active. You can do that. You can do that across the methods or teaching methods. All right. But it's a good question. Maybe I'm going to answer more details next session. All right.
Okay.
Based on or maybe you can ask me this question after going through some methods, some teaching method, maybe by the end of this module. Because methods are two. This is a good question. Because we have some methods that are linguistically oriented, and some methods are what we call educational or learning theories. As I said in the first lecture, remember last week?
Yes.
So
we do.
what I'm doing in the classroom, because you asked me about method, because some methods also focus on the student's behavior. How can I motivate students? I'm trying to motivate you. How can I motivate more than 100 students? It's not only about language, but also I have to find ways to motivate. It also should be included. Okay, Yasmin? So to
Yes, Professor.
briefly, you have to be familiar first with different methods. And you use wherever appropriate to your context.
Yeah.
If I find some students are not listening to my words, then I have to go to some visual aids. If I find sometimes resorting to Arabic or Darija can help, I have no objection to using Darija. باش نحركهم مثلا ما كيهضروش. Because the mother tongue, you can express yourself in mother tongue. So for me, I can use the grammar translation method. That is to say, I can use the mother tongue just to provide the atmosphere and motivation, and they can listen to me better because we express ourselves in our mother tongue. I can do that because I find it suitable in that context. In other contexts, I don't use translation at all because students are advanced. They already have knowledge in the language. You see, Yasmin, what I mean?
Yes, Professor.
So first of all, as a teacher, you should be familiar with old and recent methods. And then you apply in your classroom according to the situation, according to your students, according to you as a teacher, your philosophy, and according to the purpose and the curriculum. Okay, Yasmin?
Yes.
Okay, it's a very interesting question that we talk about and investigate.
Thank you for your answer.
You're welcome, Yasmin. My pleasure. Thank you also for your participation. Then I think we'll stop here for today.
Yes,
I
please.
hope to see you. ونتمنى تكون ما نكونش ضيف ثقيل. حيت باش تكون ضيف خفيف.
Thank you, Professor. Goodbye.
ابقوا معايا لنا شحال. تبارك الله عليكم.
Thank you.
يلا see you. Take care or goodbye. I see you next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye bye. See you. Take care. Bye bye. Then أول حاجة نديرو ستوب. دوك درنا ريكوردين ولا لا؟ ستوب ريكوردين. يلا تهلاو. Take care. Bye.